Today's match day, we start immediately with a bomba. Francisco CONCEICAO, the number 7 of Juventus, will not make it. He has not been called up from Igor Tudor. Is that the only surprise of the day? Absolutely not. Wait until you hear about the starting 11 chosen by Igor Tudor. At least if what the journalists are telling us is confirmed. Why will he play like that? What about the CDA, the board of directors meeting of yesterday, where a lot of Juventini were expecting a new president? No, not at the moment, but important news. And we go back to the words of Igor Tudor in press conference yesterday about cambiaso and especially about big clubs in the world. Are you ready? Ciao Juventini of the world. My name is Giuseppe. Welcome back on the channel. I hope you're all doing well. Before recording that video, I was waiting, of course, for the squad list to be revealed, because before going in paranoia, in puzzles, who plays where and how can we beat Atalanta, well, it's important to know who is there, who will travel with the team. Travel from the J Hotel to the Allianz Stadium. It's not that it's that long. We are speaking about 1 kilometer, maybe not even 500 meters, 600. I don't know exactly. One day I will try to check how long. Anyway, if you didn't yet, please put a maximum of like. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, because who is not called up? CONCEICAO, and of course yesterday he was a doubt. We don't trust that much Igor Tudor in press conference when he speak about players, because a lot of time he's using the strategy of fooling the opponent. No, they will not be called up, and then they are there. Well, yesterday he said he's a doubt. We will check until the last moment. He didn't make it. Who else? Milik, we know it. Miretti didn't make it yet, so we are expecting him in the next few games. If not against Villarreal or Milan, it will be after the second international break. And then Rui, that will again continue to play, to put minutes in his leg against, I believe, San Benedettese, I'm not sure, in Serie C with the next gen. To come back slightly on the words of Igor Tudor yesterday. Well, guys, calma, because I received a lot of comments on that one. No. He didn't say that Juventus is a small club. The intention was not to give a reality check to the Juventini, even if it's the reality. We are financially and on a sporting side not at the level of the three clubs that he mentioned yesterday: Manchester City, Real Madrid and Liverpool. We are all aware of it. So what was the intention of Igor? Because he was speaking specifically about one player, about Andrea Cambiaso. That is one of the biggest disappointment if we are speaking about the last 10 months from a lot of Juventini. Well, the message was, I want to send a clear message of wake up for Andrea, that is really a potential, clearly great player with a football IQ that is above the average, but it depends on him. So that was the message to Cambiaso, not to the journalists, not to the supporters, not actually belittle Juve. That was absolutely not the message. Probably using a bit of sarcasm, a sarcasm that said, oh, Andrea, your dreams are maybe the big clubs there. Well, if you want to go there, work harder, because it's not only the big clubs that you are risking, but probably also a big club like Juve. And then, of course, putting the reality into facts. We know it at the moment, as I already said, we are not there, but I can't believe it that Igor Tudor's intention was to say that Juventus is not a big club. We know how much he cares about Juve, how many times he said that his love for Juve was immense, that for him, Juve is the biggest club of the world, literally. And these are his words from a few press conferences in the past, also when he was at other clubs. The biggest dreams of his career sitting on the bench. So the intention of saying Juve is not a big club was absolutely not there. And I can't believe it, especially if you are looking at the group photo that has been done, the team photo, the official one, where you see all the new players, and then you see Igor Tudor that was also there back then when he was a player and not the coach, where you see immense players next to him, one of them Zinedine Zidane. So for a player that understood what it was and what it meant to be a Juve representative, representing Juve and wearing that shirt, well, these words were not expected. Now, I must say that the message didn't go well, or at least didn't come really well to the Juventini of the world, because everyone has his own interpretation, and that's the danger. When everyone has his own interpretation to the message, was it a message to Cambiaso? Was it putting a reality check to Juve? Was it actually badly said or whatever? When we start with bad own interpretation, it means that the message is not clear. And in press conference, when you're speaking publicly, you really must pay attention to that. So that's why I was not happy with the way how he said things yesterday. What about the board of directors of yesterday? I told you there will not be any new president, so I investigated why there were no official announcement in change of management. And actually, it's quite clear, because the meeting of yesterday was to close the financial year 24-25, okay, and not to announce new ones. That will be in the shareholders meeting in November. So in November, we can expect some changes, not the one of yesterday. Yesterday, the good news is that Juventus officially showed the numbers, the financial numbers that are important. We went from last year a minus 199 million euro deficit to a minus 58. Is that great? Well, yeah, if you're looking, because it's a reduction of minus 71%, which is great because we are working on it, but it's not fantastic, because as long as you are in negative and it's the 8th season in a row, well, you cannot party, you cannot celebrate. Yesterday, Juventus also made an offer, a proposition to go with a loan on 150 million euro to cover debts. Will that help for the mercato, etc.? No, that's not the intention. It's a loan that you will have to repay for the next 12 years with a percentage of interest. 4.5, I believe, if I'm not wrong. That is quite high, but actually to have a bit more breath, to not be every time with like this. So that's what Juventus will do, but for the financial things, we'll speak about it later. Also because now we need to focus on Juventus Atalanta. That will be played at 6 p.m. Italian time. As usual, pre-game, watch-along, and post-game. Here, it's a difficult game. It's a difficult game because Atalanta in the latest year is a top club. One of the best performing with continuity club in Italy in the last years, especially under Giampiero Gasperini. Of course, they changed the coach, which is a big one, a really big one. But it's a team that we are not able to beat in our home since 2017-18 with goals of Higuain and Matuidi. So only that is already scary. So we need to take that game really with a lot of caution. We need to be prudent in when we will start on the field, in understanding that it's not an easy game. If we are already aware of that, that doesn't mean that you need to park the bus, but if you're already aware that it's a really difficult team, where probably that level of concentration will be extremely high. Why am I saying that? Because this team, as we saw against Inter, as we saw against Dortmund, when they know that they are playing against really hard team on the field, big teams on the field, well, they are giving that little extra push. So pay attention to that. Don't consider it a Verona game because of the change of coach and some players that will unavailable, because that would be totally wrong. Also because, yes, it's true, Atalanta has 8 on 12, we have 10 on 12, and we saw that they didn't start well this season, but they are recuperating. It's a team that is going with more goals per game than Juve, conceding less goals per game than Juve. They are crossing 1.5 times per game more than Juve. It's a team that dribbles more than Juve. It's a team that doing more passes than Juve. So it's a team that in statistics, a lot of them are higher than Juve. So it's a team that we can say that in Serie A is in form. It's true that they come from Lecce and Torino, so pay attention to that. And also knowing that on the bench there are some surprises for the team of Juric. Ederson is back, De Ketelaere is back, Lookman is back. 3 players that 3 days ago, well, we were all sure that they will not participate to the trasferta, to the away game against Juve. They are all there to possibly change the game, and we know that these are quality players. Juve yesterday on Sky Sport was there with a predicted lineup with a 3-4-2-1. I saw on social media some people that were saying that Tudor confirmed that he's working on a change of formation. Absolutely not. He never said that. Yesterday I was watching the press conference and he confirmed at the question of the journalist that no, they are continuing to work on what they are working on already. Continuity to the 3-4-2-1. Then, maybe tomorrow he changes, or today he's changing his mind, maybe for the next game. But today, the confirmation, the words of Tudor are we continue with a 3-4-2-1. Di Gregorio, Kalulu, Bremer, Kelly, Weston McKennie, Locatelli, Thuram, Cambiaso, Jegrova, Yildiz, and Jonathan David was the predicted lineup of Sky that I don't really trust. I prefer to wait a bit more while we have the official one of Giovanni Albanese, even if this season is quite difficult for Giovanni, because yesterday I spoke with him also on Juventus to have the correct one, because he's saying Tudor in the last minutes is always changing something to fool us. But the latest updates at today, as we speak, at noon, is that we have Di Gregorio, Gatti, Bremer, Kelly, Kalulu as a right wing back, like in the three first games of the season. Locatelli, Thuram, Cambiaso on the left. Adzic, Yildiz, and Openda. And that's where we see the three changes. Gatti in instead of Kalulu as a right center back. Kalulu as a right wing back. We see Adzic instead of Jegrova. And Openda instead of Jonathan David. What is the intention? That we have a team that is able to go from a 3-4-2-1 easily towards a 4-3-2-1, but also a team that with the same men in the same game can easily switch towards a 3-5-2 with Adzic coming back a bit more, with Yildiz playing with a two-man center forward with Openda. That's the idea. Possession, non-possession, pushing, not pushing, creating superiority there in the midfield or not. But of course, we see that Jonathan David should have started, according to Sky. Now it's Openda. I'm extremely happy, not because of Jonathan David or not, but first of all, because we are going towards the player that we want to see on the field, the players that we believe in because we signed them, so they have a future at Juve, not like Dusan Vlahovic that at the moment has no future because at the end of the season, or maybe already in January, it's gone. So Openda there in the role that he said in press conference that is his role as a number 9. So I'm really curious about the performance of about Lois Openda today. Not only Lois Openda, I'm also curious, of course, to see Adzic in that role. A lot of people said Jegrova, and he could still start. Let's see the official lineups. But then Adzic there is showing continuity, is showing improvements, progresses, that he is in form, in shape. It's a player that he could potentially play in that role, because yesterday Tudor confirmed it in press conference. He can play in a two-man midfield. He can also play there a bit more up front. My feeling, my prediction, something that I also told him in private message is today, if there is, of course, if there is the possibility, if there is a free kick today, we see the first free kick scored by Adzic in Serie A. Pay attention to that one. We'll come back on it if it happens or not, so be there during the watch along. Really curious about that lineup. It's a good lineup according to me, according to the men that are informed. The last joker that I still want to keep open is the possibility to see Cabal from the first minute. Let's see if that will happen or not. Jegrova, if he has more than 5 minutes, absolutely yes. How much, we don't know. And we will see according to the game how much he could potentially play today. That was it for the pre-game video. I hope you enjoyed it. So don't forget a maximum support by liking the video, sharing the video in the last minutes, but also to subscribe if you didn't yet. Grazie, forza, Juve.